Hi, welcome to the ASUG News Studio. We are continuing our coverage on the ASUG Annual Conference and Sapphire Now. ASUG News Studio is sponsored by NTT Data. Today we're here talking about SAP Ventures. SAP Ventures is an investment firm seeking partners with outstanding entrepreneurs and leading venture firms worldwide to build industry-leading businesses. And today we have with us Joe Essenfeld, the CEO of Jibe, and Pi, the VP Global Alliances at Nutanix. Welcome.
Thank you.
How's your event been so far?
Very good.
It's been awesome.
Excellent. So Joe, I'm going to start with you. Tell me a little bit about Jibe.
Sure. So Jibe was founded in 2009, and we started as a job board. And then from there, we actually evolved to an enterprise recruiting SaaS company. And what we do is we help global companies accept job applications on smartphones, tablets, and desktop computers and provide a superior candidate experience, and also give them a very powerful analytics suite to measure their performance in the talent acquisition space.
So you talk about a superior consumer experience. Why is that important?
Well, nowadays talent is the key differentiator for large global companies. And if they're not able to reach candidates and have a personal experience with them, then they're not able to get the best talent. So we really help that happen.
So has your experience been with venture capitalist firms to date?
So we started raising venture capital very early on in our company's history. We started in 2010, and we did 3 rounds of traditional venture capital. And SAP Ventures is our first strategic fund that we went with. So it was a little bit of a different take for us, but we were really happy to have them aboard to lead our Series C round.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about that, but let me talk to Pi for a quick second. Tell us about Nutanix.
So Nutanix, again, just like Jibe, we started about 2009, so we've been in business for about 3.5 years, selling product for about 2.5 years now. Our whole focus as a company is to bring the scale and simplicity of what the people are used to on the web to enterprises. So all the benefits that people use at Google and Facebook and how simple they bring complexity into the enterprise, we're bringing that back into enterprises. And so the benefit is customers are so used to having very complex systems to run SAP, and so what we're trying to do is bring a level of simplicity back into the data center as opposed to having them manage very, very complex systems.
So give me an example of how a customer works with you.
So a customer, again, we're focused on the enterprise, so customers typically reach out to us through our sales teams globally or our channel partners globally, and then typically they're either going after a new project, like deploying a new version of SAP, or deploying VDI, or some project that allows them to now look at the infrastructure and say, if I'm going to deploy this application, what investment do I have to do back in the data center to make that a reality? Now if you look at what that means, they have to invest in server and storage and compute and networking, and the deployment of simple application now may take 6 months to 8 months just because the infrastructure to do so is fairly complex. We bring simplicity back in, so instead of it taking 6 to 8 months, you can now deploy it in 3 to 4 days, so that you now collapse the concept of server and storage all into one appliance, which is what we sell today, but really the magic is the software. So if customers want to deploy SAP as an enterprise application, the ability for us to now translate that desire to deploy SAP as quickly as possible can now directly be translated into simplicity at the back end to deploy the infrastructure to support SAP at the back end.
That's smart. So tell me, in your previous VC experiences, were you seeking the venture capitalists or were they reaching you?
It's been a mix for us.
Okay.
So in our earlier rounds, we really sought out the right VCs and the right partners. And then as we matured, and human capital management became a space that was very popular amongst venture capitalists, SAP actually was the one who reached out to us initially.
How'd that feel?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was great because we candidly didn't know very much about SAP Ventures, so my initial reaction was, well, it's not a traditional VC, so it might not be the right fit, but the partners there, led by Doug and then supported by Kevin, really let us understand what the strategic advantages were and what we didn't have to give up.
What about you, Pi? What was your experience?
It was been very good. Again, we've, just like Jibe, we were in the 4th round of funding. We're in Series D, and SAP Ventures actually led the round of funding. And having SAP Ventures as a partner, as an investor has been very good because we're focused in enterprise. And so as you start climbing higher up the stack, SAP is one of the primary workloads that customers use to run their business. And so SAP has been a great advisor for us besides being an investor, and helping us through the processes and challenges of working with SAP working with customers, and it gives a stamp of approval when customers, when we're focused on enterprise, having SAP Ventures as backer is a huge kudos for us.
And so when that just really differentiates the kind of VC experience you're having. You're providing you strategic insights, and for you, Joe, it's a little bit different in the strategy. Tell me a little bit about that.
It is, and because our platform isn't designed to just build on SAP, we're platform agnostic, we're really leveraging the relationship for help expanding globally, so advice into Europe, as well as access to talent. So being able to talk to strategic SAP executives and get their feedback about scaling a global software company is extremely valuable.
So what about your experience with the SAP partner ecosystem? I'm not sure for you, Pi, if you've already had those relationships, but I know for you, Joe, that's relatively new.
Oh, that's brand new, and we just closed our round about 3 weeks ago, so it's still a very new relationship, but even just getting the access that we got to this conference is a great start.
Excellent, and for you? It's
been very, very good, because again, because you focus on enterprise, the benefits that SAP Ventures brings from an ecosystem perspective is insurmountable. So it's been very, very good. It continues to evolve, right? So SAP Ventures has taken a different tack in terms of not just investing, but really looking at us as a company and saying, what can we do to make you successful? So be it their customer base, be it their access to executives, be it their strategy and how we can get products certified. All those are key areas how it would have taken us, it'd be impossible for us to figure out how to break that mold. So they're helping us address those very easily.
And you talk about help. I know, Joe, you mentioned to me that there was no sense of obligation with SAP. What do you mean by that?
Well, sometimes when you have a strategic partner come in and lead an investment round, you have to give them right of first refusal to potentially buy your company. There's exclusivity in partnerships. There's restrictions in certain vendors that you can go after. And there was absolutely none of that with SAP Ventures. So it's truly structured as a venture capital fund with benefits. So the way that Doug laid it out, and then after our diligence and references, it really checked out that it is truly venture capital first, and then with the ability and access of partnerships second as an added benefit and added value.
That's great. So 2 birds with 1 stone, but added value all the way around.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you one last question, both of you. What would be the advice you give to someone seeking out? So you had the benefit of SAP tapping you on the shoulder, but if you're a company that's starting up and looking for funding and they're looking to partner with SAP, what would you say, Pi?
No, so I would say, depending on the focus area, SAP Ventures clearly has a focus on where they want to go. Sure. I would say reach out to SAP Ventures, and especially in the later round of funding, I think they're very, very interested in backing the right companies. So I would say definitely they're one to contend with in the VC community.
Great.
Yeah, I think if you're an entrepreneur, you have to build a great business, get great customers, and then the funding finds you. So, I mean, SAP is a great group of guys, but you have to have the business to back it up because they're selective.
Smart answer. Super. Thank you so much for your time today, Joe and Pi. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in the ASUG News studio. For more information about SAP and news related, please visit asugnews.com.
Thank you.